Good afternoon, awesome saucers. Welcome again to another day in the backyard apiary. Alright, so today I have a little trial that I want to do. So the hive number 8, a couple days ago when I was going through it, I saw one single queen cup that had a larva in it, and the hive seemed congested. I did give it a shallow soup at the top without any queen excluder where the queen could go up and lay, but normally when they actually start doing the cups with larvae in there, that means they're gonna swarm. No matter what you do, they're just gonna continue unless you move the queen. So what I did was to basically took away the queen, and along with a frame of nectar, a frame of pollen, and one single frame of brood. Ideally, you don't want to give them any brood, but the frame I gave them was pretty much a half frame of brood that was going to be hatching out. So no eggs or anything was on that brood. It was just fully capped out from top to bottom brood, right? So I just gave her 3 frames. Shook up quite a few bees in there just to ensure that the population is high enough to maintain the queen. This hive is pretty much queenless at the moment, so they're going to be making quite a lot of queen cells. Not going to be using those queen cells. What I'm going to be trying my hand at is queen grafting. So what I'm going to be doing here, I have 10 queen grafting kits here. Pretty much those little brown areas are the plastic cells. So part 1, I'm going to leave this inside the hive overnight and let them clean up this pretty much, right? And then what I'm going to do now, tomorrow morning, I'm going to come back, I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to know from one of these colonies, I think I'm going to use number 9. And the reason why I'm using number 9 is because number 9 is pretty much the calmest hive I have. And I just want to see if I'm successful in getting that genetics from her. For number 9, I'm going to take out a frame or a couple frames to see if I can find the right age larvae. And I'm going to use a queen grafting tool and pretty much transfer the larvae in these little queen rearing cups tomorrow. And then what I'm going to do now after that is put it back, put this grafting frame here inside number 8, between a frame of pollen and a frame of nectar, to pretty much allow the nurse bees in there to draw these larvae as queen cells. So I don't want them to use a egg from the queen that was there, because that queen was very aggressive. What I want them to do is draw the eggs the larvae that I'm giving them. And this frame here is a frame with the queen grafting cups, which I'm just going to be leaving in here overnight for them to clean up and pretty much sanitize this frame and the cells, right? Alright guys, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be going through this hive, every single frame, and I'm going to remove all the queen cells that are currently in this hive. Alright guys, so I went through, pretty much cleared out all the cells from the top section and the lower section. What I did was to kind of set up the bottom section to put the graft frame in, so it's going to go in that space. The frame here and here are pretty much pollen dense frame, and they have a decent amount of nectar on it as well, and one of them has some brood, right? So pretty much this hive is pretty jam-packed. If you can see outside at the front, quite a lot of bees at the front. One thing to note as well, it has bees in the top section, so this graft cell or graft frame should be drawn out quite well. So what I'm going to try to now is just close it back up, and then now search for the frame in number 9 to use for the grafting. Alright, so we're going straight into number 9 here. We're not even gonna check the top section. Normally, if you're going to be doing grafting, you want to have one of these, you know, so you can be gentle, as gentle as possible with these cells, these bees and the cells and the frame itself. Today we're just basically going to be checking on the graft cells and see how far along they are to being capped, and then if they're capped, I'm going to actually put the cages over them, so that means if there's any that is going to be hatching first, they won't come out and kill the rest. All right, so let's go. The thing is, guys, when you're doing a grafting, the key thing is to ensure that you move away all frames that potentially have eggs, and I pretty much failed in that regard. The grafts that I had made are not gonna be that successful, and the amount I could have potentially gotten from this hive is not going to be a good acceptance ratio pretty much. So it's like how this hive is hopelessly queenless now. This is probably the better time to actually put cells in there. Alright, so let's go. Look at these. Nice little grafts. So I have what? 1, 2, 3 there. And then we have a fourth one right there. So they aren't capped off yet. So off 10, I got a 40% take on my grafts that I did for the first try. Some of these cells looking nice and large. There's a mirage of things that could have gone wrong when I did the actual grafting process, why I may have not gotten a better percentage of take on the grafts. So I'm just gonna run you through some of the things I felt I didn't do adequately. So one, when I was doing the graph, I was kind of rushing, right? That's one thing. Two, in terms of the right age larvae, I know I did pick a few that seemed a little bit too old, and I guess when I was taking them up with the grafting tool, I probably damaged them, right? Those are really two things that could have affected it. And the third thing, I know I never really primed the cups. When I say prime the cups, what I'm talking about is taking a little royal jelly and from anywhere in the hive, whether it be from an older cell, older larvae or anything, and just wipe a little on the actual cup, the bottom section of the cup, before I put the actual larvae in there, right? Even though when you take out the larvae from the cell that you're going to use as a grafting, you're going to take up a little royal jelly, it may not be enough, you know, and it potentially will let the larvae dry out quickly. So that's the third thing I felt like I did wrong. I never did to increase my chances. And the fourth thing is that when you're trying to do a cell builder queen grafting style, is that you need to ensure that the cell builder you're putting the grafts in don't have any eggs or larvae in there which the bees can turn into a queen. That will lessen the chance of them actually going to your grafts and end up choosing a larvae from what is they already have. That was one of the mistakes I had. I never made it hopelessly queenless where they just never had any chance and they had to just go to what I gave them. So that's the fourth thing I never did correctly here. So like if you're going to do cell builders, you have to ensure that what is left behind is a lot of nurse bees as well as emerging brood, you know. That's pretty much what you want, and your normal food supply, your nectar and honey, and you need definitely a lot, some pollen frames in there, and you want to ensure those food frames are very close to the grafts you put in, you know. So those are kind of the mistakes or the downfalls I recognize that I didn't do. If I'm going to be doing this more on a larger scale, I'll definitely address those in the next try that I do. But it was a good attempt nonetheless. Yeah, I think 40% is a good take for my first try. even if I did get one, that would be still a good attempt, you know, because it's considered pretty much a success once you have at least one. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the queen grafting trial. What I'll do, this will be the part one of it, and then part two will basically be me going in back and putting the cages on when I'm doing a final inspection on that time. So definitely guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and the upcoming weekend. Take it easy guys, and peace out.